We have another great article from Forbes and David Axe. Ukraine is jamming Russian glide bombs all along the front line, erasing one of Russia's main battlefield advantages. A year ago, Russian Air Force fighter bombers were lobbing 100 glide bombs every day all along the 800-mile front line of Russia's wider war on Ukraine. The satellite-guided KAB, or UMPK glide bombs, each traveling 25 miles or farther under pop-out wings, were a miracle weapon for the Russians, the Ukrainian Deep State Analysis Group noted at the time. And the Ukrainians had practically no countermeasures. Russian forces settled into a comfortable routine. Glide bombs rained down on Ukrainian defenses. As the dust cleared, Russian infantry attacked the battered and traumatized Ukrainian survivors. The bomb-first, assault-next tactic helped the Russians capture the fortress city of Avdiivka in eastern Ukraine and then advance 25 miles along the same axis toward the next fortress city, Pokrovsk. Gradually, and without many outsiders noticing, something changed. Now, as Russian forces stall outside Pokrovsk, it's evident that the golden era of the divine UMPK turned out to be short-lived, noted fighter bomber, the unofficial telegram channel of the Russian Air Force. The bombs are still flying, fighter bomber noted in a missive translated by Estonian analyst War Translated. Indeed, the Ukrainian Center for Defense Strategies has recently noted KAB/UMPK attacks in Sumy, Chernihiv, and Donetsk oblasts in eastern and northern Ukraine. But there's a catch, fighter bomber explained. All satellite-guided correction systems have left the chat. And for one main reason, Ukrainian radio jammers have become so effective and so numerous that they saturate the front line. The glide bombs can't communicate with the GLONASS satellite constellation, Russia's less sophisticated and less expansive answer to the United States' own GPS satellite constellation. Without a steady connection for course correction, the glide bombs tend to stray and harmlessly explode on some fields. All high-value targets are guaranteed to be covered by electronic warfare, fighter bomber claimed. It might take 8 or even 16 glide bombs to reliably hit one target, the channel added. And while the glide bombs are inexpensive for a precision munition, each costing around $25,000, the Sukhoi jets that lob them 2 or 4 at a time aren't cheap. Launching 4 jets to maybe hit one target is risky and inefficient for an air force that has just 1,000 or so modern jets and has already lost 120 of them in action in Ukraine. The intensive Ukrainian jamming has also grounded many of Russia's drones, compelling desperate Russian operators to switch to pricier fiber optic drones that send and receive signals via long, thin cables instead of via radio. The jamming has effectively accomplished what the Ukrainian Air Force struggled to accomplish with its expensive, vulnerable S-300 Patriot and SAMP/T surface-to-air missile batteries, which can hit Russian jets from scores of miles away but were always too few in number to fully protect the front line and safeguard Ukrainian cities. The Russians jam too, of course, but Russian jamming doesn't have the impact that Ukrainian jamming does. Many Russian jammers are badly made and ineffective. Equally importantly, the best Ukrainian munitions, American-made Joint Direct Attack Munition glide bombs and French-made Hammer glide bombs, include GPS guidance but also have backup inertial navigation systems, or INS, that are entirely self-contained and are thus impervious to jamming. Consider that both American and Ukrainian jets have, in their respective bombing campaigns, blown up enemy GPS jammers using GPS-guided munitions with INS backups. I'm also pleased to say they've had no effect on us, Victor Renouart, then a U.S. Air Force general, said of Iraqi GPS jammers after USAF warplanes dropped GPS munitions on them back in 2003. By contrast, Russia's own inertial guidance backups, complex systems that internally calculate a munition's direction, altitude, and speed in order to keep the munition on course, tend to be inaccurate. In a 2022 essay for Proceedings, the professional journal of the U.S. Navy, analyst Mark Schneider concluded Russian missiles are often a tenth as accurate as their makers claim, filling the air with radio noise that bothers them less than it bothers the Russians. The Ukrainians may have erased one of Russia's main battlefield advantages. It's time for Russian commanders to acknowledge this reality, fighter bomber urged. The future belongs to autonomous INS. But when it comes to INS, Ukraine, has the edge. As a result of a drone attack on Russian Tuaps, 2 vessels were damaged, Astra Telegram channel reported. The hull of the diving boat Vodolaz 31, which belongs to the Morspa Sluzhba Marine Rescue Service, was damaged by shrapnel and water had to be pumped out. Shrapnel damaged the superstructure, bridge wing, and portholes of the bulk carrier Mumtaz Bay, which sails under the flag of Panama. The vessel was loading coal with 25,000 tons of cargo on board. There were no casualties. The Romanian Senate has passed 2 bills that allow the shooting down of aircraft and the conducting of military operations in the country in peacetime. 78 senators supported the bill to control the use of national airspace, 11 voted against it, and 2 abstained. The bill authorizing military operations on the territory of Romania without declaring a state of emergency received 80 votes in favor, 12 against, and 2 senators abstained. We are strengthening Romania's defense. The first law regulates the shooting down of unauthorized drones that violate Romanian airspace. The second law allows the Romanian army to cooperate more effectively with NATO partners on national territory in military missions and peacetime operations, Mircea Abrudean, the interim president of the Senate, wrote on Facebook. The Romanian Ministry of Defense developed the initiative due to an existing legal gap in using the armed forces. Previously, the Romanian army could not shoot down drones or missiles that violated airspace unless a state of emergency was declared in the country. According to the adopted laws, NATO forces can also participate in measures to protect Romanian airspace in accordance with collective defense agreements. At the end of December, it was reported that during the attack on Ukraine, one of the Russian missiles flew into Ukraine through Moldova and Romania. The Russian cruise missile flew about 140 kilometers in the airspace of Moldova and Romania and reached its final trajectory in the Chernivtsi region of Ukraine. It traveled from the Yampil district in the Vinnytsia region to the Daraban area in Botoșani County, Romania. In addition to cruise missiles, Shahed-type kamikaze drones have been spotted flying over Romania, some of which were lost there in addition to transit flights. In July 2024, Romanian Foreign Minister Luminița Odobescu stated that fragments of Shahed drones, with which Russia attacked the Odessa region on the night of July 25th, had been discovered. On the same day, the media reported that the wreckage, probably belonging to Russian Shahed-Giran attack drones, was discovered near the village of Plauru. The military continues to inspect the area. In September 2024, the Romanian Ministry of Defense reported that it was searching for new debris of Russian kamikaze drones due to a renewed increase in attacks on the border areas of Ukraine, as a result of which some drones fell into Romania.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.